Metal Gear Survive gets a February 20th release date. Update: Konami has announced the exclusive pre-order extras for Metal Gear Survive, including weapons, a box accessory, and more. So I'm gonna scroll down so everybody can see this wonderful thing right there. Here we go. So 4 gold-plated weapons: a bat, a sledgehammer, survival machete, and survival spear. Couldn't just call them machete or a spear. Survival spear and survival machete. 4 metallic-colored survival scarves. Green, blue, pink, and silver. 2 gestures, a thumbs up, and happy. Mother base nameplate, Boxman, the orange accessory, and Kabuki face paint. And you can see all of that right there. My God. I know I got into a huge conversation about this on the Nerd Cave Facebook group with Adam Gumbert. Konami. I'm not going to get the game. Are you going to get the game? Tell me in the comments below. There's pre-order bonuses. Like, whew, that's some rough. I don't even know if they know what they're doing over there. I really don't. I don't know if they know what they're doing. I'm going to take me a little sip. Mexican Coca-Cola. Best thing in the world. All right. Moving on. Something better. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is coming to mobile in November. Here's everything announced in the latest Nintendo Direct. Nintendo has dropped the details of its much anticipated Animal Crossing game for smartphones, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. In Nintendo's Animal Crossing dedicated Direct today, we learned that the details of its upcoming mobile entry, which will launch for free on iOS and Android mobile late in November. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp plays out like previous console entries with a few tweaks. Rather than managing a town, Pocket Camp tasks players with managing a personalized campsite. If you gather materials around your world like cotton or wood, you can craft furniture for your campsite and by placing an order, but you can also make the process easier by earning or buying with real-world cash. Leaf tickets, which can be used to shorten the crafting time and more easily acquire materials, among other benefits. For the first time in Animal Crossing history, you can level up your friendship with Pocket Camp's various furry friends. And if you decorate your campsite with your favorite furniture, they'll pay you a visit. Players can also invite friends to visit by exchanging in-game player IDs or be visited by random player avatars who can be befriended. Like past games, time passes in day and night cycles, and there are multiple places to visit, such as Sunburst Island and Saltwater Shores. There's also a marketplace where familiar Animal Crossing faces hold stores that sell furniture items, clothing, and shoes. Now, everybody's like, where did these microtransactions come from? It is the mobile market that is killing video games. Okay? I know that's how a lot of people make their money and all that good stuff and yada, yada, yada. But for the love of everything that is good and right, stop microtransactions. Charge what you want for the game. And I know Colin Moriarty talked about this. Charge what you think the game is worth. You look at Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. They charge like $30 or $40 for the game, and it is amazing. Everything is there, and it is amazing. The graphics are amazing. The story is amazing. Just everything about the world is great, and they charge what they thought for it, and that's why the game is selling gangbusters. It is doing so well. And then you got games like Destiny. You got Overwatch does it as well, but they don't do it as bad. You got Destiny. You got Shadow of War, which I've been playing, and I'll talk about here in a little bit. You got all these games that have microtransactions that make people not want to play it. And yes, the games haven't suffered because they've done microtransactions and everything, but it's turning people off. I want to be able to play the game. I don't want to be able to just buy my way out of it. I paid my money for it to play the game. I wouldn't pay $20 more right now for me to jump to the last level of Super Mario Odyssey and finish it. I wouldn't do that because it makes no sense to me after I've already bought the game for $60. I might be the only one here that thinks this way, but it's ridiculous at this point that this is what we're at this point. So, and a lot of people are like, oh, single player games are dying and everything. It's because people don't put their money where their mouth is. You look at Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein doesn't have a season pass, or it might have a season pass, but it doesn't have microtransactions. It is just a full game. It's there. It's all there. They're not like, if you want to kill this Nazi, pay $1 and we'll blow his head off. It's none of that. It's just there. The game is there. Oh. You know what's not there, though? Microsoft has stopped making the Kinect. I didn't pull this article up. The Kinect accessory has already been a punchline, but is now officially dead. Creator Alex Kipman has told CO Design in an interview that Microsoft is not making more of the device when retailers sell off any remaining stock. The device, introduced in 2010, lived through both the Xbox 360 and Xbox One eras, but never caught on with developers nor gamers, despite the fact that an updated version of the sensor initially came with the Xbox One. Perhaps the Kinect's most significant contribution was the utilization and non-gaming fields. Appropriately, versions of tech are found in Microsoft's HoloLenses, and the core concepts of voice, face, and body recognition continue to be important. I have the Kinect and everything. I never really used it. I thought the first one, I was like, oh, I got to get this thing. And then I got it. And then it was what it was. So it's not that big of a deal that it's done and gone. But it does say a lot about Microsoft cutting its losses at this point, that they are not going to be putting any more out. They're not going to be using any of their money to make Kinect. And you see that with the closure of, when they stopped making Scalebound. They've closed a lot of studios recently because they're not making money. They're not making anything that people want. So it's just interesting that Microsoft is cutting its losses, and Phil Spencer is doing an awesome job riding the ship. No one else is doing a good job. Changes are coming to Destiny 2's in-game and why they matter. Even as Bungie and Vicarious Visions had a big week with the PC launch of Destiny 2, the live team for the game is beginning to share some of its plans on how the game is aiming to improve and evolve across all its platforms. Yesterday, This Week in Bungie, the article included a section from game director Christopher Barrett, in which highlights several notable features that Destiny 2's live team is working on. In most cases, we don't get a sense of how soon any of these updates may go in, but we do get an idea where the live team is. Barrett says, new systems and rewards to give our most engaged players additional optional pursuits. Why it matters, we don't get a lot of detail here, but it's notable that Barrett leads with this subject, as it's certainly the most central concern for many dedicated Destiny 2 players. Many players I know have simply run out of engaging rewards to chase. Even if those players are willing to repeatedly play the same content, they hope for some kind of reward they will get to give them a reason to log on, and right now that's not happening. Barrett goes on to say, Barrett incentivizes for better incentives for players who complete challenge prestige activities. Prestige activities attempt to provide particular challenging content for higher level players, but the rewards simply don't justify the extra work for many of the players. So they're hoping to give better loot for people. Barrett goes on to say, better rewards and replay value for strikes, adventures, and lost sectors. Again, it's all the in-game has to be better, more rewards and everything. Barrett says, private matches for competitive community, we're targeting early 2018. And this is a big thing. The original Destiny is eventually included private matches, which was a boon to the burgeoning competitive and streaming communities. It was surprising that that Destiny 2 launched without the availability of private matches, as it felt like a step backwards. Hopefully, private matches give players some flexibility they are hoping for in the Crucible. This is the only note which Barrett attaches a date, implying the degree of confidence that the functionality is on track for the launch time. Crucible tuning, like adjusting supremacy scoring and better spawning results, better incentives for completing Crucible matches, and penalties for quitting competitive games, continued improvements to Iron Banner and faction rallies, including uniqueness of rewards. They've already improved the Iron Banner. They talked about that recently. Changes to make mod economy more interesting and impactful, ongoing improvement to exotics, including adjustments to reduce instances of duplication, new ways to spend surplus currency and materials, looking at legendary shards, an emote interface that allows players to equip salty, spicy ramen, 6-shooter, and flip out all at the same times. And that is all that he talked about. Now, with better rewards, you're going to get more people that are engaged with the end game. You're going to get more people that want to keep playing, that want to keep coming back. And that is a huge thing that is needed at this point for Destiny 2. I know I haven't even turned on Destiny 2 this week, but I've been pretty busy. But I know there's a lot more hardcore people out there than I am for Destiny. So having people that already have all the exotics, already have all the mods, all this kind of stuff, all the armor that they want, you got to have something that's going to make people want to come back and keep playing. So I'm glad to hear that they're going to be doing more and more. Hopefully they'll let you choose what kind of matches that you want to play in Crucible. I know the Crucible playlist right now is just kind of there. So I want to see more from that. So that does it for the gaming news of the week. I'm going to give a little hot take on what I think about Super Mario Odyssey and Shadow of War. Those are the two games that I played. I'm waiting for my copies of Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, and Assassin's Creed Origins to come in. I know Allie's been playing Assassin's Creed Origin like nonstop. I haven't had the time to talk to her, but I've seen some gameplay and everything. So Shadow of War. I did a live stream of Shadow of War, and here are my thoughts on it. The gameplay is pretty simple. Feels a lot like Batman Arkham Origins and City and Asylum and all of that good stuff. And Night, which is good. I love the gameplay of that. There seems to be pretty good depth to it. But it is definitely mired in the fact that there are purchases that you need to make to get more powerful, from buying orcs and all of that. Haven't got a ton into the game yet, but it seems like there's not a lot to the story, and it seems like I'm just going from one place to another, killing orcs or enslaving them. And I wanted more from the game, and I know a lot of people, I had one guy even call me out and asked me if I was getting paid to play the game because of the microtransactions, that I was trying to sell people on the game, which totally not. I wish I was getting paid to play video games, which I guess Patreon pays me at some point or whatever, but it was interesting to get called out on that when I'm just playing the game. Like, I didn't even buy the game. That was how far I went. Like, I did not want to put money down on Shadow of War, so I gameflied it, and it's an okay game. Like, it is what you want, and it's definitely got a lot of stuff that if you want to play, you can go in and you can find a lot of stuff. There's a lot of churn and grinding in the game, which it is what it is. I'm going to keep playing it and see if my opinion changes anymore. The gameplay is fun, though. I won't lie about that. The gameplay is fun, from, just going around and killing and all of that kind of stuff. Now, Super Mario Odyssey, I got it. I've only played probably about 15 minutes, but I did want to kind of give my opinions on it. Game looks great. Love the music, love the controls and everything. The only thing I don't like about the game is that you have to play with the Joy-Cons not attached to the handheld, because they have motion controls to them, the waggle and all of that. I don't like that. Like, I want to be able to hold it in handheld mode and do all of the things that I need to do. And you can, but it just feels very janky, and like you're having to like move the gamepad around to like activate certain moves and everything. But when you're, with the Joy-Cons at free hand or whatever you want to call it, it works pretty well. I haven't got too far into it, but the game does look great. I want to get more and more into it. Like I said, I only played a few minutes. That's my biggest concern, is that I have to play with the controllers free of the device and everything. I'm curious to see what it does with Pro controller if it works like that. But haven't got too far into it. A lot of people are praising it. You see a lot of like 9.7s and 10s and everything and 9.5s. So I'm going to get more and more involved in it the more I play. But I want to kind of give it an update. I'm curious to see what everybody picked up. We had Assassin's Creed, we had Wolfenstein 2, we had Mario this past week. So let me know what you're playing currently in the comments below. So that is all the gaming news for the week.